At 5:30 a.m. on Monday the 13th of August 2018, it is caught on security footage from the neighbor that Chris Watts is pulling his truck up to their garage. It was reported by many people that Chris left his work truck on the street, and Shaman did not like it as the truck would leak oil on the driveway, so he would never put it on the driveway. The security footage captures Chris loading things into his car, and he makes 3 trips. However, there is not a clear shot of what Chris is loading into the car. At 8:30 a.m. the same day, Chris calls the school that Celeste and Bella attend. He tells the school that the girls will no longer be attending the school. On the same day, Chris is reportedly have deleted loads of messages and trying to delete anything that has to do with Kessinger. Chris and Kessinger then hold a 51-minute conversation on the phone. It is also reported that on the 14th of August, Kessinger Googled Shaman Watts. She also Googles can cops trace deleted text messages. She spent a good amount of time Googling how to get rid of text messages. A co-worker of Chris came forward to police with emails between Chris and Kessinger. He also gave the GPS on Chris's truck. The FBI look up the GPS that was in Chris's truck, and they see where Chris went. Authorities do a drone shot of the work site Chris said he was working at on the 13th of August. In these shots, they spot the bedsheets missing from the home. They also notice fresh movement in the dirt, like something had been buried. At first, he accused Shaman of killing their daughters by strangling them, which set him into a fit of rage. He said he then put all the bodies into the truck and drove to his workplace. He then buried Shaman in a shallow grave and dumped both his daughters into the big oil tanks. The bodies were sent to the coroner's office, and it was determined that the 2 daughters were smothered and Shaman was strangled. Chris' defense was that Shaman was strangling the children first, and then he killed back in rage. But he changed his story, and Chris said that once he had killed Shannon, he told his daughters that she was ill and had to be taken to the hospital. He then put all 3 of them into his truck and drove out to a remote work site. He buried Shanann's body in a shallow grave before smothering his daughters and dumping their bodies in oil tanks. He pleaded guilty to killing his daughters and Shanann. Chris was formally charged with multiple counts of first-degree murder, 1 count of unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and 3 counts of tampering with a deceased human body. However, he later entered a guilty plea in exchange for 5 life sentences without parole.